what we saw so far. So we we went we went into the 15 Simani HaSeders, that there are 15 of them. We just talked a little bit about them, but not too much. And we just pointed out that the 15 is like the table of contents for the whole night. It's like a schedule for what we're going to do every part of the night. And even the name of the night is called the Night of the Seder because everything is very organized. Okay, and then we talked about that the first cup, we have 4 cups of wine to remember the 4 words. 4 cups, and we talked about that the first cup is the cup that we make kiddush on. So let me just see if I'm going to admit Chavi now. We got to admit her. Okay. So we have the first cup that we make kiddush on. Okay. Then we never mentioned this, but when there is a concept of heseba, which we're not going to talk about right now, but that means you should lean on your left side when you drink the wine. Quick story about that. You know, it's funny. My kids always look forward to seeing how I eat the matzah when I lean, because there's going to end up being so much matzah like all over my shirt, and it's just crazy, and it's like, oh my gosh, look at how daddy's eating his matzah. There's matzah all over him. So I don't know if that happens in your house or not, but it does happen in our house. Go ahead, Liana.
Liron wants to be let in.
So Noah wants to be let in. So I don't see.
Liron wants to be let in.
So I don't see him in the waiting room.
He says that he's in, but it's like it says.
Oh, he's in. Okay. So what does it say?
But it doesn't. But he's not like seeing anything.
I don't know why that would be. I have no idea. I have no idea at this point why that would be. But he can hear. Do you know if he hears?
Hold on, I'm asking him now.
Can you let it go in? Okay. But let's kind of move on, okay? All right. So moving right along with the we talked about Kaddish Orchatz. Orchatz was, can anybody tell me what Orchatz is? I'm gonna scroll down here to see if somebody has their hand up. Okay, good. Noah, what do you got for me? What's Orchatz? Not Noah, Maya. I'm trying to unmute you, Maya, but I guess you muted yourself, so you got to.
There. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Orchatz is you should wash your hands with the bracha.
With or without a bracha?
With a bracha.
No. Right. Orchatz is without a bracha. Okay. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you should have written down in Orchatz over here, wash without a bracha. So go, if you didn't write that down, so why don't you go ahead and write that down? So if you look in the next page of the Haggadah, we'll show you that Orchatz, beli bracha. We wash our hands, we don't make a bracha. Wash your hands without a bracha. So this is the next page of your Haggadah, you can see. So that's just, but don't worry, good job on that. Then we had karpas, and we eat the vegetable dipped in salt water. Then we had yachatz. We have 3 matzot on the table. Kohen, Levi, Yisrael, and the middle matzah we break in 2, and we put the bigger piece for the apikomen, and we leave the smaller piece on the table. One of the funny things on our Seder, I have a feeling that you guys maybe do this too, is whenever we break the matzah, so it's like a whole thing to see if we can break it as evenly as possible, and then we try to see which one is the bigger piece, and it's always like, sometimes, some years, it's like totally dead on obvious which one's bigger, and some years, it's like everybody has to figure out like which one which one is the bigger piece. So those are just different things that we have when we do our Seder. I see we have someone that can be admitted now. I'm going to admit them into the meeting. Okay. So this was this is the this is the yachats. Please don't draw on the screen. I don't know how somebody's doing that. Please. And then we had a whole Dvar Torah on yachats. We had a whole Dvar Torah on yachats. That was yesterday's Dvar Torah. And I'm not going to go through that whole Dvar Torah, but that was one of my all-time classic favorite Divrei Torah on the Seder. And we talked about making a note of which Dvar Torahs are your favorite, because you're not going to be able to say all of them, but you want to definitely say the ones that you liked a lot. So that one was about the three inventors. There were three inventors, and they all came back with their inventions. And in the end of the day, we explained how the bigger piece of matzah is for the afikomen, and why the smaller piece is for us, because the bigger piece symbolizes that it's for Hashem, and we save it to the end of the meal, because who remembers? Why do we save that bigger piece till the end of the meal? Yesterday's Dvar Torah. Daniel, you raised your hand, then you changed your mind. Okay. All right. Anyone remember why that bigger piece is at the end of the meal? We got a lot of people that I can't see, but it looks like they are with us. You got Sam. Oh, Sam is here. I didn't see when Sam came. How you doing, Sam? Shmaya, what do you say? Got to unmute yourself, Shmaya.
We saved the piece till the end because it means like Hashem's with us till the end.
Maya, you just made my day. I'm going to be awake and alive this entire day because of that comment. You just made my day. Thank you so much, Maya. Amazing. It's great to know that we are still learning when we are outside of school. I'm so proud of you. Okay, so today, let's move on to today's lesson. That was all what we did in the previous Haggadah lessons, in the first two. So in this Haggadah lesson, we're going to start. The next page of your Haggadah is not on the screen right now, but the next page of your Haggadah is the beginning of Maggid. So we begin, Maggid is the next part of the Seder, and in Maggid, that's where we actually tell the story of the Jews leaving Mitzrayim. So this is where we start Maggid, and this is the famous Maggid beginning called the Lachma Anya. Now, I've had my guitar with me, which I'd love to have in one of our lessons, where we're going to sing some of the Pesach Haggadah songs. That's hopefully what we're going to do, and that's what I always have done whenever I teach the Haggadah. It's always with lots of songs, but there's many different songs for the Lachma Anya. And in any event, let's read through it. Lachma Anya. This is the poor bread, the achalo avatana, that our fathers ate. Be'ara de Mitzrayim, in the land of Mitzrayim. Now I'm going to ask a question to everyone here. Can anybody tell me if what we just read is Hebrew or another language? And if you think it's not Hebrew, can you try to prove to me why that is? So looking for some hands over here, scrolling down the list here to see if anybody has their hand up. Oh, I saw somebody over there. Okay, Abigail, I haven't seen you yet. Okay, Abigail, what do you say?
It's like Yiddish.
Okay, it's not Yiddish, but how come you think it's not Hebrew, though?
Because I remember learning that it's a different language.
Can you see some of the words and think about some of the words you know in Hebrew that don't match up to the word that's in front of you? So let me help you out. Look at the word for land. How do we normally say land in Hebrew?
Eretz.
All right, there you go. And how is it saying it over here?
Ar'a.
Ar'a. So there you go.
Wait, is it Arabic?
It's not Arabic, it's Aramaic. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
So the first part of Maggid starts with a different language. It starts with Aramaic, and it doesn't start in Hebrew. So so it's a really strange thing, because why would the first paragraph of the most important part of the Haggadah be written in a different language, in Aramaic? Okay, so that's just a very famous question that is asked on this. Well, we're going to see that question in a second. Let's go on and read through it. Kol dichvin, all those that are hungry, yetei v'yochol, come and eat. Kol ditrich, all who need, yetei v'yifsach, come and make a Pesach. Hashata hacha, now we are here. L'shana haba, next year, ba'ard Yisrael, we should be in the land of Israel. Hashata avdei, now we are slaves. L'shana haba, next year, b'nei chorin, we should be b'nei chorin. Now, I want to unmute you, but I'm going to give you a heads up before I do that, because if you have something going on in your background, please turn it down. And if you know my song, well, it's not my song, but the way I sing Lachma Anya, I'd like you to come and sing it along with me. So we're going to sing the Lachma Anya, because how could we just go through Lachma Anya without singing it? So here we go. Lachma Anya,
Freedom! I don't have a book or something.
Ashata Leshana Haba Leshana Haba B'Sofin Ashata Leshana Haba. Okay, so that is the Lachma Anya song, and let's take a look over here at to the next page of the Haggadah. So the next page of the Haggadah is the famous question of why the Lachma Anya is written in Aramaic. So I always like my students to read this part of the Haggadah out loud to each other. So do we have someone who wants to read it to us, to the class? You can raise your hand right about now. Okay, go for it. Emma, I see you. Go for it.
Just the top part?
No, go ahead.
Okay. When the Haggadah, wait, Lachma Anya was added to the Haggadah when there.
Also read the question.
Oh, okay. Why Lachma Anya written in Aramaic?
In Aramaic. That's just Aramaic. That's what we were talking about. It's not written in the same language. Yeah.
Lachma Anya was added to the Haggadah when the B'nai were in the Galut.
B'nai Yisrael.
Okay. Therefore, it was written in Aramaic, which was the language that spoke in Babel. They wanted the women and children to understand it, interested in the story of the Haggadah. Only Hoshana Haba'ah is written in Hebrew. The reason it was written in Hebrew was so that the Goyim would understand what they were saying. You want me to read the bottom too?
That's going to be another question. So, just does anybody want to summarize what Emma just read? I'm just looking around. If you have your hand up, there you go. Page. Okay. Anybody want to summarize what Emma just said? I'm not seeing any hands up. All right. There's Liron. Hi, Liron. Okay, so just to sum up what Emma just said, the reason why it's written in Aramaic is because that was the language that they spoke when they were in that country. They lived in Babel when they wrote the Haggadah, and they wanted to write at least part of it in a language that all of the women and children understood, not just the scholars. So they want to have everybody involved in the Haggadah on the night of the Seder. So that's why the first paragraph is written in Aramaic so that people can all understand it. Okay, so that's a beautiful answer. There are many, many other answers to this. Why is the matzah called Lachma Anya? Does somebody want to read that Dvar Torah? Lachma Anya. Why is matzah called Lachma Anya? Lachma is the Aramaic way of saying lechem. Lechem means bread. And Anya is the Aramaic way of saying poor person. So it's bread of a poor person. So this question is, why is matzah called bread of a poor person? Why is matzah called bread of a poor person? So if anything, I always make a joke that you have to be rich to buy matzah. Matzah is really expensive. And maybe, and the joke that I always say is, why do you call it, I think I know why you call it poor man's bread. You call it poor man's bread because once you buy it, my daughter's piping up over here. Once you buy it, you buy so much of it, you end up being a poor person. But that's not the true answer. Why is matzah called Lachma Anya? So let's see what Akiva says. Go ahead, Akiva.
Why is matzah called lachma? Matzah is hard to digest and it remains in our digestive system longer than bread. Someone who eats matzah needs to eat less often because he stays full for a longer period of time. This is why matzah is the food that poor people. Matzah is the food that the Mitzrayim gave Bnei Israel to eat in Mitzrayim, so that they would not have to feed them often.
Wow. Does anybody want to say in their own words what Akiva just said? Why is matzah called the poor man's bread? I see Emma has her hand up. Great. I see Kayla. Great. I'm looking to see how many people are with me and trying to pay attention. I see Eitan, Shmaya, Ruthie. So proud of you for paying attention and learning even when we are not together. Okay, great job, everybody. Let's go to someone we have not heard from just yet. So let me give Eitan the floor. Eitan, what do you say?
Yeah. Because it stays in your digestion longer. So the Mitzvah gave us a matzah so that we wouldn't have to eat more.
That's right, Eitan. Excellent. So basically, they wanted to give us as little food as possible. They gave us matzah, and they didn't have to feed us very often because matzah takes such a long time to digest. It stays in your system for days, which is why you have to be careful. You have to eat matzah on Pesach, but if you overdo it, then you can end up with lots of different stomach problems. And there's a joke about, the coronavirus. One of the ways to solve the problem of toilet paper is to have everybody eat matzah. But that's a not for now. That's a different now. Yeah. So the next time we learn, okay,
Am I muted?
What?
Am I muted still?
No,
am I still talking?
You please don't interrupt. You're not muted. So just please don't interrupt, and we're gonna get So,
Okay.
so basically, the next time we learn, we have the other Dvar Torah that I think is the classic Dvar Torah that I really want you to say at your Pesach Seder. So we did one of them. That was the one about the three inventors. And tomorrow we're going to do the second one. It's a little longer. And I have it with, I did it with a student. His name was Isaac Shapiro. It was my second year when I taught. So I gave him that Dvar Torah. He had to present the Dvar Torah to his father and all of his father's business partners. So I wrote it as Isaac's Dvar Torah at that time. So it's a classic Dvar Torah in Rabbi Traing's Haggadah. I think you're going to really love it. And then we're going to have lots of other small Divrei Torah, and then we're going to just learn about what the words of the Haggadah are teaching us, what they mean. But the actual Divrei Torah, like the longer ones, we did one yesterday, and we're going to do another one tomorrow. And those are the two that are really my favorite, that I really want you to say at least one of them one night and the other one another night. So just to close up our lesson for today. Today we went over a lot of the things that we did yesterday. We went over it again, and we went further. We started Maggid, and Maggid is the part of the Haggadah where we start telling over the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim, and we learned about the first paragraph of Maggid, which is written in Aramaic, and that's the language that they spoke when they were in Bavel, and they wanted the women and the children to understand it, so they started the first paragraph to be in Aramaic. And that was the reason for that. And we also learned about why the bread is called poor man's bread. So if you have a question now, now's the time to ask it, because we're going to wrap things